Marriage represents a rational, natural, and logical response to the essential needs of men and women. This need has been acknowledged by all religions, divine laws, and human societies throughout history. No stable civilization has ever denied the institution of marriage. Rather, societies have differed only in its form and regulations. Islam regards marriage not merely as a personal matter, but as a moral and social foundation, describing it as the most blessed structure. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated, "There is no structure built in Islam more beloved to God than marriage." Accordingly, Islam encourages marriage and establishes ethical and legal boundaries to ensure that this innate need is fulfilled in a dignified and humane manner. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a human being like other humans, possessing natural human needs, with the distinction that he received divine revelation, as stated in the Quran. Say, "I am only a human being like you, to whom revelation is given." Among these natural needs is the need for marriage and companionship. However, due to his moral perfection and spiritual discipline, the Prophet never exceeded the bounds of moderation, and his conduct was always governed by reason, ethics, and revelation. A careful examination of the Prophet's family life, the characteristics of his wives, and his conduct toward them demonstrates that his multiple marriages were not motivated by sensual desire, but were based on clear social and educational wisdoms dictated by the historical circumstances of the time. Before Islam, various forms of marriage were practiced among the Arabs, some of which were degrading and incompatible with human dignity, such as shigar marriage, in which women were exchanged without dowry. Islam abolished such practices while endorsing and reforming those consistent with human nature and moral values. Regarding the Prophet's marriage to Aisha, several key points must be considered. First, this marriage occurred at the request of her father, Abu Bakr, who regarded kinship with the Prophet as a great honor. Socially and politically, this alliance also served to strengthen communal ties and reduce hostility from opposing groups. Second, the claim that Aisha was 9 years old at the time of marriage is not unanimously accepted by historians. Other historical reports place her age between 12 and 17. For this reason, a number of scholars have argued that she was significantly older than 9 at the time of marriage. Among the important pieces of evidence is the report of Ibn Ishaq, who counted Aisha among the early converts to Islam. If she were, for example, 7 years old at the beginning of the prophetic mission, she would have been approximately 17 at the time of marriage and about 20 at the time of migration to Medina. Another indication is that Asma bint Abu Bakr was about 10 years older than Aisha. Asma died in the year 73 AD at the age of 100, meaning she was born 27 years before the migration. If she was 10 years older than Aisha, then Aisha would have been about 17 at the time of the Hijrah. A further indication is that some historical accounts state that Fatima, peace be upon her, was born 5 years before the prophetic mission, and that Aisha was about 5 years younger than her. This would place Aisha's birth at the beginning of the mission, and her age at migration at approximately 13. The diversity of these reports demonstrates that the narration of 9 years old is not historically definitive. Another significant point concerning the Prophet's motivation in marriage is Aisha's own statement that the Prophet frequently mentioned his first wife, Khadija, to the extent that she felt jealous and said, "God has given you a better wife in her place," to which he replied, "God has not given me anyone better than her." This illustrates that his marital relationships were based on loyalty, gratitude, and moral values, rather than physical attraction. This clearly indicates that the Prophet's marriages were not driven by sensual desire. Otherwise, he would not have continued to praise a wife who was 15 years older than him and who devoted her wealth and life to supporting his mission. In conclusion, the Prophet's multiple marriages must be understood within the framework of his divine mission and the social and political realities of his era. They were not expressions of personal desire, but components of a broader ethical and educational project aimed at supporting widows, strengthening tribal relations, and practically demonstrating the dignified status of women in Islam.